So you've got your monitor that's built into your laptop. You've got your Promethean board. You've got this extra monitor in your classroom. What do you do with all these things? Well, today's video is about all the possible display options. In a previous video, I showed you how to hook up the Promethean board, and that's the video cable right here. Now, officially, if you're going to switch from the Promethean to your external monitor, you need to unhook the Promethean video and then hook in the extra monitor. Again, I think that in almost all cases, you should be able to use both the Promethean and the external monitor at the same time if you want to. The external monitor is going to have an HDMI cable. It's kind of got a trapezoidal cross section if you look at it. Going to turn so that the larger side is up, and it's going to fit right here next to the USB. If you've been following along in my video series, you know this USB is connected to the microphone. This is the hub USB, and this is the power. So I found out when you hook up the extra display, it will show up as a speaker. So if you click on your volume, you'll have this T22i20. That's actually the extra monitor, which your computer thinks as a speaker. So if I click on that, I can then choose the speaker slash HP, which is our normal speaker that goes out through the 3.5mm jack over here on the left. So having plugged in my external monitor and having the Promethean hooked up, the situation may not be exactly as you wanted. So right now, the Promethean board is duplicating what's on my laptop, and all of my desktop icons are on the extra monitor. And maybe you're okay with that, maybe you're not. But I know for me, in this setup, I'd rather have my desktop icons on the middle display and make sure that when I move my mouse off of the right edge of the screen, that the mouse ends up over here on the Promethean, so that we have two separate display areas. And then I'd like to make sure that when I move the mouse off the left side, that it ends up on this extra display over here. So we want things spatially correct, and we want to have 3 different display areas. So let's look at the settings and how we would do that. Anywhere on the desktop where it's open, you can just right click, and that will bring up your options. I'm going to use display options. And this will bring up your display settings in Windows. And what it's telling me right here at the top is it's saying monitor number 1 and monitor number 2 are duplicating. They are showing me the same thing. And in fact, that's what's happening. I said my laptop and the Promethean are showing the same thing. And then it's saying display number 3 is its own display, and that was the extra monitor that I just hooked up. Now, if you aren't sure which is which, you can click this identify button, and it'll show you the number in the bottom right or bottom left corner. Let me move the camera, and then I'll click identify. It comes up and it doesn't stay there, it goes away pretty quick, so you may have to click identify again if you need to. If I come over here to the extra monitor and look at the lower left corner, let me click identify again, and we can see that in fact the extra monitor is number 3. So what this is showing me over here is, as I said, the extra monitor is its own display space, and the laptop and the Promethean are showing the same thing. So the first thing I want is I want to make sure that I want 3 different display spaces. I don't want the laptop and the Promethean to show the same thing. Now, if you like it that way, that's fine. You can leave it that way. But I would rather, instead of duplicate desktop on 1 and 2, I'm going to come down to this multiple displays, and instead of duplicate desktop on 1 and 2, I'm going to do extend desktop on 1 and 2, and then it's just saying, hey, do you want to keep these settings? Yes, I do. And then if I come back up here to look at the displays, it's showing me now that I have 3 different display areas. Now, it turns out that these are in the correct order, and again, I know that because if I click the Identify button, it shows me the numbers. So if I take my mouse and I move it off to the right, it's going to end up on the Promethean, which is display number 2. And if I take my mouse and I move it off to the left, it's going to show up on the extra monitor, which is display number 3. So the order for me is correct. If the order isn't correct, all you have to do is click and drag the monitors into the correct order, and then click the Apply button. As I said, the monitors are in the correct order for me, so I'm not going to do that. But that's how you would arrange the monitors physically if you needed them in a different order, so that when you mouse off the side of your center screen, the mouse arrow ends up in the right spot. Finally, you'll notice that my desktop icons are on the laptop instead of the extra monitor now. And for me, that's okay. I like them there. But you might want them on a different monitor. And so all you have to do is click the monitor where you want your desktop icons to show up, and then scroll down to where it was multiple displays again. And there's a little box underneath that says make this my main display. So if I click that and I minimize the window here, you'll be able to see that in fact my desktop icons are gone, and now they're over on the extra monitor where you might want them. So 3 things that you'll want to look at really quick. We'll go over them one more time. The first is which screens are duplicating and which screens are extended. If you want duplication, or you go down to where it says multiple displays, and you can choose to duplicate 2 of your screens. In my case, I like the extend because I have 3 different spaces to work. The second thing to check is, are your monitors laid out spatially correctly? If you take your mouse arrow and you mouse off to the right, does it end up on the correct screen? Same thing if you take the arrow and move it off to the left side, does it end up on the correct screen? If not, click and drag to put the monitors in the correct order and click Apply. And then finally, if you want to make your desktop icons appear on another screen, you just select the screen where you want the desktop icons to appear, scroll down to multiple displays, check make this my main display. There is one place where having the external monitor hooked up is going to cause a bit of a problem, and that is if you want to write on the Promethean. So if that's the case, you're going to have to unplug that HDMI cable for the extra monitor so that you can write on the Promethean. If you don't do that, basically the calibration for the pen is always off no matter what you do, and you won't be able to write on the Promethean. There's just no way to do it. So unplug that HDMI cable. When you're done running on the Promethean, you can plug the HDMI cable back in, and you're good to go again with 3 displays. So that is the most common problems that you're going to run into with your displays. Once again, if you want to see the rest of the playlist on technology for hybrid learning, that is going to be over here on your left. And if you haven't done so, it doesn't hurt to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. See you next time.